It's a privilege to serve at these forums and to meet the fellowship. We're making these relationships, and friendships in AA are lasting, and these really cement our sobriety. They keep us in the middle of AA and they keep us sober. It's just a privilege and a great experience to be able to serve Alcoholics Anonymous.
I heard it through the grapevine.
Welcome. It's the AA Grapevine half-hour variety hour featuring the collected voices of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm Sam, an alcoholic in Palm Springs, California.
And I'm Don, a collected voice, alcoholic in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm calm and collected.
Collect them all! Don, what's going on with you?
I think I'm still percolating from everything that happened to me in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Not Biloxi?
Yeah, I went to Biloxi.
What's going on there?
Well, I went to visit the casino.
Oh!
No, it's not what you're thinking. I didn't go to do any gambling. That's where the Southeast Regional Forum was held.
That was at a casino?
Yeah.
Were there like slot machines at each chair in the assembly hall? Or?
Not where we met. The way it's laid out is it's a big casino, right? When you walk in the lobby. So all the restaurants in the place are on the left. And there was quite a few places to eat there. The hotel and the convention space was to the right. So to go from the convention space to the restaurant, you had to go through the casino, but it was okay.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, the location was really good because they had two things that were essential for me. A popular name brand coffee shop readily available inside, and ice cream open until 11 o'clock at night. So,
oh, wow. All right.
And so I was happy as could be. One thing, it was so literal, the casino. There was like walls that would have lines of these slot machines, which now are all digital. So you're just hitting a button.
Yeah.
And they all said, "Quick fix." That was the name of the slot machine. I mean, it's like, okay, name it what it is.
Well, I think it's a really good thing that this was an event by Alcoholics Anonymous and not Gamblers Anonymous.
You're right about that, Sam.
Wow. I've heard that they call these regional forums the General Service Office and General Service Board Roadshow.
The office meets the fellowship. There were 377 people there. 222 of them were first-time attendees like me.
Oh, that's a big bowl of alphabet soup. So let's do a quick primer on that.
Let's describe the upside-down triangle, the service triangle of the conference. The broad base of the triangle is flipped upside down, so the broad part at the top is the home group.
And that's where we have a GSR, a General Service Representative.
The home groups are formed together into a district.
That's where we have the DCM, the District Committee Member.
The DCMs and the GSRs form together to make an area.
And the representative of the area is the delegate.
The delegate goes to the General Service Conference once a year in April. The General Service Conference says, "We advise you to go do this or go do that."
To whom?
To the General Service Board. They can decide not to do it or to do it themselves or direct the General Service Office to do it.
That's where we have a staff that is run by our General Manager.
AA is guided by the General Service Conference, but also by the General Service Board.
That's where the trustees work. They also have a vote at the conference.
So, now that that's all crystal clear in your minds, we're ready for what I did was kind of make an audio diary of my experience as a first-time visitor to the regional forum.
Nice. And if that's not all clear, hit your back button a couple of times and listen to that again.
Yeah, and if you don't have it, do a search for the upside-down triangle.
Might want to add AA to that.
That's a good idea. Just the upside-down triangle is not going to be that informative, I suppose.
But first,
the news!
Listen to playlists of members' AA stories on the AA Grapevine YouTube channel. Get inspiration for your recovery and then share your own story. Playlists include Sober Women, the Grapevine Waipa World Tour, that's young people in AA, Blessed, Voices of Men in AA, Willingness, Coming In, and A New Life. There are also ASL and Spanish playlists. Search AA Grapevine on YouTube. Our 12 Steps is a brand new collection of stories from AA members about working the program's 12 Steps of Recovery. Each chapter illuminates a different step through the experiences of a wide variety of AA members. This volume features all new, up-to-date stories from the pages of Grapevine, the International Journal of Alcoholics Anonymous. This is great for sponsees and step meetings, and it's only $13.99 at aagrapevine.org/books.
It's Friday afternoon, and I've arrived here in Biloxi, Mississippi. Strikes me as a strange place for a AA convention, a casino. But you know what they say, Father feels he has struck gold, but has only scratched a limitless resource. I'm here with my service sponsor, Kenneth, who's past delegate.
True story. Kenneth, alcoholic.
It's been fun walking around with you, Kenneth, because every 3 or 4 feet we stop and I meet somebody new that you know from past service experience. Who are the people at a regional forum?
Well, there's a lot of people from all over. One of the ways that we like to describe the regional forum is it's where the triangle collapses. You know, most of us who are into service, we've seen the upside down triangle with the groups at the top and the different level, the districts and area and everything down to GSO. At a regional forum, it's where anybody from any group, you don't have to have any service position or service experience. Any member of Alcoholics Anonymous can come and speak directly to what we call the bottom of the triangle people. I remember one of the first ones I ever went to, they had an open mic session and somebody had something about the grapevine that they questioned. They went to the mic and they said, "Why the grapevine's doing blah, 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 and blah, 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 and why are they doing this and that?" And they said, "Well, we'll let the chair of the grapevine answer that." You know, so you've got like
they're there.
Yeah. And it's a different mix of staff people who come. Instead of just, "Hey, we're up here in New York, please come and visit the General Service Office. It's your office." I mean, they do that, but they go out and go all over the U.S. and Canada and bring these regional forums to each region to have as much connection as possible between what's going on in New York and the sort of rank and file fellowship. Because the rank and file people, the fellowship as a whole is what's in charge.
It seems to be mostly delegates, alternate delegates, past delegates, past trustees, and a few DCMs and alternate DCMs, which I'm an alternate DCM.
I would say further down the triangle a person is, the more likely they're going to show up early. Because remember, it hasn't started yet.
That's right, it hasn't started. It's going to start in just a minute, and we're going to get going.
Yeah, about half an hour, it's going to be the opening session.
Thanks, Kenneth.
Yes, all right.
Well, it's 11:30 at night, and it was kind of like a talking service manual, where instead of just reading the service manual, you had people explaining it to you from the podium. It was beautiful, really. And then questions of all sorts to how things operate, specific questions about what GSO has done in the past and in the future. Comments about the increased cost of inflation and how much money is coming into AA, and the observation that perhaps the expression "a resentment in a coffee pot" is not a good way of promoting growth in AA. That does not really take into account the cost of having a GSR who attends assemblies and perhaps going to the regional forum. These things cost money. So if you take all that into account, it takes a little bit more than a resentment in a coffee pot. And someone also said, 13th step is not a cute expression. It's actually predatory behavior. And we say these things to say something clever and get a laugh because it's mildly amusing, but is it the best way to express unity in AA? Everyone is eager to talk to each other. It's been wonderful. A little overwhelming. I think I'm ready for bed. Be ready to see what tomorrow brings. All right, I'm here with Eileen, who is the regional forum staff member. What's your job?
So as regional forums coordinator, the biggest part of the job is making sure the program is created, and then you're helping support those that are going to be presenting at the forum. So there's some board members who have PowerPoints, there's some delegates who are just doing presentations, so you help to organize the program.
So how many forums are there?
We have 8 regions between the United States and Canada, so we'll do 4 forums every year, and we do it at the invitation of the region. And we plan the location for these events 3 years out. So this conference that we have will be talking about 2028. We already know where we're going to be having the forums next year, 2026 and 2027. So these events are planned way in advance.
So you're planning all of them all the time, and
yeah, there's little bits.
like right now,
Yeah.
your entire job is being here and
Exactly.
holding
Exactly.
this thing together.
Yeah, and-
You're one of 12 staff members?
Yes, I am.
So is this all you do? Plan these?
This is my main responsibility. I'm not sure if this always is part of the responsibility of the regional forums coordinator, but I'm also the alternate coordinator for the international convention. So I have the pleasure of joining Patrick and the team who go to Vancouver for first site visits.
That makes sense. It's kind of the same sort of thing.
And I'll be then the coordinator for the 2030.
So this is a lot of bureaucracy, management, arranging for all this stuff to happen, shuffling all this stuff, making all this stuff happen. What about doing this has like really touched your heart for this regional?
Yeah, I think
forum?
I could cry, but I'll try not to. I think that for me, getting to work to be the go-between between the board and the fellowship has been the biggest honor.
To be the go-between between the board and the fellowship,
Yeah,
because that's what this is.
I guess that, and that's a simplification, but regional.
That's good. Simplification's good.
Regional forums are really to foster communication and trust. I don't think many people in the fellowship have the opportunity to meet the board and the trustees and the staff who work so hard for them. But once we get here, and it just ends up being a love fest. And that's really what happens. And it isn't always comfortable, and sometimes conversation, we need to discuss things, but this is where it happens. We come face to face, everyone gets in a room, there's a microphone, there's Q&A, and we get to see how we're all alcoholics. We all love AA, and we all want it the best for AA, and we have a role at the office, the trustees have a role, and the fellowship has a role, and we all have a role in order to carry the message. So that's my favorite, is for everyone to meet them, and because they work so hard.
Yeah.
They get a lot of heat. I like to be able to support them in whatever I can do to help foster communication and trust, which is what forums do.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful thing. And 4 times a year, this is a place where all that communication happens. And it's really great. I really appreciate it. You seem very coordinated to me. So you're doing a very good job of coordination.
Thank you, Don. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to do it, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. Yeah.
Tom, what's your job?
I'm the regional trustee for the Southeast region. I'm kind of like the GSR for the region. And I look at like a delegate, kind of a GSR for the area. Just, again, some simpler terms that helps people that are newer to service understand a little bit about the role, if they understand what their GSR does for their home group.
Describe what the forum is for.
Really what it's for is to meet the office and to meet the trustees. So to get out and meet people face to face and do what we do in AA, that have conversations around coffee pots and answer questions that people have, and kind of make the intimidation factor that I had anyway when I first came to my first forum and seeing all these people in suits with fancy titles, and I didn't know who did what and all this other stuff. And we try not to put people like our sponsors and other people up on pedestals, but it's hard not to when you have such an appreciation for service. And to meet these people face to face and kind of realize they're just home group members just like me, and they make coffee and greet and go on 12-step calls and sweep the floor. And one of the reasons that I'm so grateful to give back to AA is about when I was roughly 16, stumbling in the house at 2 a.m, drunk, trying not to make any noise, and I heard my mom crying at the kitchen table, profusely crying. And I sat with her and I said, "Mom, And she said, well, this is how I go to sleep every night, wondering if the cops are going to call and what's going to happen to you. And there's no price really that I can pay back that my mom doesn't have to cry herself to sleep anymore. You know, so the service back to AA, it's a labor of love, and it's what we do. I know I got off track a little bit on that question.
No, that's beautiful, because I was going to go there. What were you like as a drunk? Because here you are, very well dressed, sitting up on this dais, one of the coat and tie leaders of AA, way above me. And the experience of the forum, it's like together meeting in the hallway, talking, having coffee, exactly like we would do after a meeting. How'd you get sober? So I've got to ask about the skeleton tattoos that you have. It's incongruous.
I am exactly what Bill described. I think it's the second forward, the rebellious nonconformist. You know? That's what I was. As a little boy, my mom said she could take me anywhere. No meant no. I was well disciplined, I guess, or well behaved is a better word. But once I started drinking, I was exactly the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. So I was like the worst kid, and all the things like mom would not want to get a question at the grocery store or at work about her son because I was a disaster, you know. Just that's who I was as a drinker.
Yeah. To me, this whole thing has been kind of like a talking service manual. In the service manual, it has all these graphics, little blue grayed out figures and all the jobs. There's two at-large trustees and 4, I'm not going to remember the exact numbers here. I shouldn't have started this. And here, it's all real personalities explaining the job, and it just comes alive. This is what holds AA together.
You know, I like to tell people in conversations like this, like, don't be a thief in AA. You know what I mean? Don't just come to AA and take and take and take and never give back. Some people are really good. They don't want the dais, the podium, the tie. They want to sweep the floor, open the meeting hall, make the coffee, and go home. A more quiet servant, maybe. There's all types of service like that. There's people that
it's
are
still service.
Yeah, they're better at 12-step work. They have that gift of gab. It's what they want to do. And so for a new person that comes here, find out what you like to do in service and give back in some way. If you've made a little money in sobriety, maybe the basket's one of the ways you give back a little bit more. Whatever that is or feels for you. And then, you know, to come here and ask your questions. You know, there's all kinds of acronyms in AA, and you might have heard something, and come here and ask the question. You know, you can come straight up to people that are in these service positions you've talked about, whether it be staff or the Grapevine board or the AWS board or the General Service board, and ask your question and get an answer. Or if we don't have an immediate answer, we'll get one to you. I tell people, hey, don't be afraid of any of us up here with ties. Come talk to us. Ask us what we do. We walk side by side in Alcoholics Anonymous, not one in front of another. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Good stuff. Thank you, Tom.
No lies, Bob.
All right. No lies. Okay.
Yeah.
They're all gone. Now we can talk the truth.
Yeah, you got
it. Bob, you're the general manager of GSO. What's a general manager do? Everything?
It's a lot to my role. I explain sometimes in presentations about it that it fits really into several buckets. General manager of the General Service Office, so I'm in a managerial role of the employees that work there. And, you know, maybe...
Can we say you're the boss?
Well, I
know that doesn't work with AA.
Some people might say that. Some folks around the office call me that boss, but I like to feel, again, that we're just more equals, you know. What I often like to say, and it fits in with my leadership style, is that you manage things and you lead people. So I like to feel like I provide leadership to the employees at the General Service Office and leave the management of the things and the functions to the individuals who do it.
You refer to that as servant leadership.
Yes, and that's really what it is that I serve the employees of the General Service Office to help them to be the best of themselves so that they can perform their functions in the most effective manner possible. So really bringing their personality to the role. A lot of times in Alcoholics Anonymous, in our general service work, if you're a GSR or a DCM or area committee chair or a delegate, we talk about that, bringing your personality and the best of yourself into your role. Working at the General Service Office is the same thing. And in the leadership essay in Concept 9, Bill talks about that. Where would we be with leadership with no personality?
This is in the super secret service manual.
Right.
And in Concept 9, there's a couple of pages that Bill wrote on leadership.
He did, yes, in the 9th concept on leadership. And there's a lot there. And it's really rooted in that servant leadership, which is it's principle-based leadership. And it's so pivotal and important to have an effective operations of the General Service Office.
What does a day look like?
Oh, busy.
And does it include AA?
It does sometimes, which is pretty amazing. So if you take a Friday, for instance, we have a Friday morning meeting at 11 a.m. that happens every Friday. And I have a very busy schedule, but I work hard on my priorities. And actually, my service and role as general manager, never losing sight of my recovery is very, very important. And so I go to meetings and I practice the program as best as I can, just like before I was a general manager. And so on Friday mornings, I actually have that on my schedule, and I attend the AA meeting that happens. And we have people that come from all over the world to the General Service Office, and being able to be in that meeting and hear experiences from someone from Sweden, or sometimes they might be coming over from Brooklyn or in lower Manhattan, wherever it is. Or
that's every Friday.
Every Friday.
At 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
In New York at
475 Riverside Drive at 11 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes the meeting is so big we can't have it on the 11th floor in the office, and we have to use space on the first floor of the building because we have 150 people there. So it can be quite large sometimes. In fact, we have hybrid schedules at the General Service Office, but everybody's required to be there on Friday so that we can greet and meet members who come and visit us.
So even staff members are going, how long do I have to go to this meeting? Till you want to go.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, it sounds like your job is filled with going to meetings.
It is, and outside of that, that's a fun part. It's all fun.
Well, I think you bring fun to it. There's something in your personality. I mean, we talk about these little, what did you call them? The little gray figures in the...
Oh, the Weeble Wobbles.
Weeble Wobbles.
The Weeble Wobbles, yeah.
You really bring life to it because you see general manager, okay, I see it's a job, but I can feel your personality and your enthusiasm. Your spirit, it seems to come through, and even standing up on the dais I visited the office one time and got to meet you there, and you were wearing a shoe that had a hole in it. Put your shoe up on the desk describe the picture behind you.
The picture behind my office is a picture of Bill Wilson with his feet up on the desk. And he's got a cigarette burning in the ashtray, a bottle of sugar Coke, because there was no such thing as Diet Coke back then, and he had a hole in the bottom of his shoe. So he was known for wearing his shoes out till he had a hole in them. And that particular day, I was wearing a pair of shoes that had a hole in the bottom. So.
it was a great chime.
Yeah. We're real people in AA, and this forum is a place to meet people where they're at. And I bring myself, which sometimes is silly. I'm a father of 6 kids who've made me sillier over time, and we're not a glum lot, and we learn that in Alcoholics Anonymous. And so, I say about the employees at GSO that they bring the best of themselves, like American Idol. They make their jobs their own, and so I try to bring that to my particular role and to not take myself too seriously, and have that sense of openness with all the employees at GSO so they can feel that comfort and that safety, and to be truly empowered to do what they think is right, that they can have that sense that they don't have that fear of reprisal, that they're going to get in trouble if they make a mistake. If they're skittish and nervous when they go about a project, like, I don't want Bob to get upset with me, I might get in trouble for this, then we might not get the best result out of what they're doing. And I used to quip sometimes when I first got to GSO in 2021 in that summer, like I was waiting for people to make some mistakes so we had some things to learn from. And that's the way we approach those things. That's what servant leadership does.
That's the way we live our lives in AA, is
Absolutely.
To make a mistake. I take inventory, I look at it, what can I learn from it, correct what I can.
Yeah, absolutely. That in that sort of service manual hidden secret that you were talking about in the 12th concept, the 5th warranty says that we're not punitive. And there's a piece of principle that comes from that 5th warranty that that fits right in with servant leadership. It's another example of how it's principle based.
Bob, this has been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's Sunday. The forum is over, and I'm here with Kenneth in the airport. We're both flying home, and I just wanted to get final reflections. For me, it was like drinking from a fire hose, and
What goes on?
I'm totally saturated. If I were to sum it up, I'd say it's got like 3 parts. One is informational, just how the service structure is organized and how it works.
An introduction of the people who are involved. You get to see the actual people and personalities and the faces that go with those little weeble wobble images. And some of them have amazing sensitivity. I heard what to me was the funniest treasurer's report I think I've ever heard.
Yes.
Most engaging and entertaining.
And then the second part is an update on what's going on at the General Service Office. What's the current things they're working on, and everyone gets to ask questions.
That's one of my favorite parts, really, is the way people ask such pointed questions sometimes. And it wasn't particularly aggressive this weekend, but at a lot of these events, there was some questioning that had some edges on it, and the graciousness with which questions are received. They always say, thank you for the question.
And the third thing is just being someone new is the sharing sessions just all throughout the whole weekend. Everyone talking to each other. Walk up to the general manager, say hello, start talking. Walk up to a trustee, to a past trustee. What did you do in AA? Just hear the wealth of knowledge of where AA came from and how it operates today. It's an incredible learning experience, and it's charged me up.
Yeah, finding our fellow service nerds. But anyone can come to a regional forum and talk to the bottom of the triangle people, instead of people just speculating what they think those people up in New York City are doing. It's like the people, as they said this weekend, all the people from New York, most of whom were not even from New York, but they're associated with that in our minds because that's where the office is.
Yes. Why do you, as someone who has served as a delegate, go to a forum?
Because I get to see the love of the larger picture and how we function as a fellowship and as a society, as well as finding out what's currently going on and bringing service sponsees. Like, it has been such a blessing to have you here as a service sponsee.
Well, it's been invaluable to me to have you as a running buddy. And I've got to say, kind of the tough love of a sponsor. It's like, go to the mic. You're new. Go to the mic.
That's true. Well, and people did that to me when I was new. Like, you've got to get up there. So it's like we support each other. I know I get a little over the top sometimes, but I really see it.
Pour it on.
Well, I feel like in Alcoholics Anonymous, I get to see God at work in the world. Like, when people first came, when I got out of the hospital after my last relapse, a couple guys came and 12-stepped me, and they would sit there, and my leg was busted. I couldn't stand up or walk or anything. They would come in my stinky, nasty apartment, sit around my bed, and tell me their stories, read the big book to me. I was like, you people are impossibly good. I could never be that good. And then I was like, this is not a bunch of BS. This is, what at first seemed a flimsy read, it really is the hand of God to me. This amazing support that I could not conceive of. I couldn't believe it was real. And I was like, there's people who do good just for the sake of doing good, that they're going to help some stinky, nasty, drunken fool like me. And then to see that God is at work in the world through Alcoholics Anonymous, and then be invited to become a part of that. Yeah. That's the I never thought I could even be that good. Like, now I get to be the one doing it. I get to meet cool people like yourself.
Thanks for being my running buddy, Kenneth.
It's been a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'm exhausted, but elated.
Me too.
The Grapevine and Lavinia apps are now available for both iOS and Android phones.
To get yours, go to the App Store on your phone and search for AA Grapevine or Lavinia.
Don, I went to a regional forum. It was the Southeast Regional Forum when it was up near Washington, D.C.
When was that?
I think it may have been 2018. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Totally service nerded out on that thing. And you kind of took me back playing that. Was there anything else that you took away from the forum?
Well, there were 2 points that were made by speakers, which I have shared with my district, and then it's hopefully going back to all the home groups. And one was the past trustee, Billy N., challenged the fellowship to understand that AA's population does not reflect the racial and cultural makeup of the local population, and we need to consider steps to address this. What more can we do? What can be changed to make AA more welcoming? It's a failure of AA that needs to be addressed. It was a powerful message.
It is indeed.
And then the outgoing Area 51 delegate, Julie R., called out the increasingly heated rhetoric about the work that the General Service Board performs for the fellowship and the General Service Office. In some cases, the tone has turned distrustful and aggressive. She asked for everyone to realize that we each, every one of us, love AA. And by applying the principles of love and service, we can disagree without being disagreeable.
Yeah, that was a really important point that my service sponsor pointed out to me many years ago. And, these opinions and ideas on things that AA should or should not do are coming from people all around who are saying this because they love AA.
That's it. This is the program that saved our lives, and of course we're passionate about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you went to that, Don.
I tell you what, I'm still charged up from it.
So how's your credit card? Is it charged up from it
it's
too?
It's all charged up too.
Folks, go to aa.org/forum to find out where your region's next forum will be.
Are you going to the International Convention in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, July 3rd through the 6th?
We need volunteers. We need
app ambassadors,
kiosk attendants,
Grapevine news and information carriers,
info booth attendants,
workshop facilitators.
Don't worry, we'll train you.
If you can help, write IC 2025 Outreach. That's IC as in International Convention. So it's IC 2025 Outreach at aagrapevine.org. That's IC 2025 Outreach at aagrapevine.org. We'll see you there.
And now it's time for listener feedback.
We got this one from Paul R. with the subject, the September 25th, 2023 podcast. Paul writes, "Greetings, Sam, Don, and Alice. I've been catching up on old podcasts, and in the September 25th, 2023 episode, at the 35-minute, 37-second mark, a caller sang a bit of a hymn from the Washingtonians' temperance movement."
Oh, I remember that. That was incredible. In that episode, we talked about the Washingtonians, who predate the Oxford groups, which Alcoholics Anonymous sprung from.
And Paul continues, "I found a copy of the original hymn book online, and on pages 20 and 21 is the text of the song she sang in its entirety."
Now, she made up the music because there was no music for it, so she just sang it as a hymn.
Okay. Paul finishes with, "Hope you enjoyed a little follow-up on a previous story. Keep up the great work, and thanks for all your effort you put into your wonderful podcast."
Thanks, Paul. We love AA history. It's fun to consider what the Washingtonians must have been like, and to find any information is fascinating. Paul, thanks for writing. Bill C. in Maryland writes, "Don mentioned today the secret AA meeting in the Capitol building. The meeting was called Yays and Nays, according to a convention speaker I heard. I think it was 2017. The meeting is no longer there. It was not political, just that the room that they were using became unavailable. I do not know if they ever found a new space." Bill, there was a meeting there, evidently. I had heard about it on television, but, I searched until the guards ran me out for looking in secret doors and such.
Yeah, you that sketchy Don running around up there
What's
in the
he
Capitol
doing?
building. Don, we've got something from Alex in San Diego. Alex writes, Just found your podcast. Very excited to listen to more. My name is Alex. I'm an alcoholic. My sobriety date is April 22, 2008. I got sober when I was 21. I sponsor men and have a sponsor. AA is my life. I come from a long history of alcoholism in my family. Thank you for your meetings. I'm on a climbing trip and not a lot of meetings are in my area currently. So I sit in the sauna and listen to a meeting from you guys.
That's what we're here for. Alex sent an incredible photo of himself hanging on to a sheer cliff face, seemingly a mile up in the air. Alex, I know that the first step is to let go completely. But in this case, don't do it. Don't do it. Hang on.
Hang on. And if that is the type of activities that you're doing on the regular, I understand why you're sitting in the sauna.
Oh, and we've posted Alex's anonymity protected photo he sent of himself climbing the cliff face. Look for it on our Instagram account. Search for Grapevine to find us.
And now we have this note from Roman with the subject, "Thank you for the Grapevine half-hour variety show."
Hi, Don, Alice, Sam, and everyone who contributes to the podcast. I just wanted to reach out and thank you all for the weekly Grapevine half-hour variety show. I'm almost 2 years sober now, and I was introduced to Grapevine early in my recovery. I started with a subscription and soon became a regular podcast listener. Every Monday evening, I listen as I walk my dog, and it's something I look forward to all week. The insights you all share, along with the guest stories, have taught me so much. It's also opened my eyes to the broader AA community, which has helped me feel even more connected to the program. I'm now the Grapevine rep for my home group. On Halloween, I even wore a grape costume, handing out candy bags with QR codes for the Grapevine app. If you'd have told me I'd be doing that when I first came through the doors, I'd have asked you what drugs you were on and wanted some for myself. Your show makes recovery fun, and I learn something new every week. Just wanted to take a few minutes to share my gratitude. Thanks for everything you do. Best, Roman.
Oh, man. Roman, thank you so much for writing in about that. I got to say, as this line was being read, and I'm getting them again, I got chills. It's also opened my eyes to the broader AA community, which has helped me feel even more connected to the program. You know, that instantly took me back to something someone I respect told me a long time ago about the Grapevine. There's a lot of folks in our fellowship who don't get to travel as much as others do. And reading Grapevine gives them the opportunity to get the flavors of AA all around the world in some cases, but certainly in the United States and Canada.
That's true.
And I just love that. I mean, it builds that connection.
Yeah, it's the voices of AA from all over, sharing and cross-pollinating.
Roman, thanks for sending that in. We've also posted Roman's anonymity-protected photo of him in his grape costume. Look for it on our Instagram. Search for Grapevine to find us.
Thanks, Sam.
Get lost, Don.
See you next Monday. No, I won't. You'll be with Alice.
Take care, Don. It was awesome working with you again.
I love you, Sam.
I will cut you. You're next. I'm at the very wit's end. Cuckoo.
I told my wife I was feeling down and I looked frumpy.
What does she say?
She told me I have excellent eyesight.
It's really not that funny. Thanks for joining us. The AA Grapevine Half-Hour Variety Hour is posted every Monday and is produced by AA Grapevine, Inc. We don't speak for AA as a whole. We share the experience, strength, and hope of members to help others recover from alcoholism. All things Grapevine are available at aagrapevine.org, including our app and how to get in touch with us. Find us on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to know more about AA, visit aa.org or search online for Alcoholics Anonymous and your city.